Today I'm going to run through what I do as a full-time farmer to stay somewhat in shape. We're going to talk about diet, exercise, and just my general lifestyle. Let's start with lifestyle because my job as a farmer, my career comes into that. Day to day I'm very active. There's a lot of manual labour involved, a lot of lifting things, a lot of walking, so I get plenty of steps. I think that's really important actually. It's just enough of that low level zone 1, zone 2 activity, really low heart rate, but just keeping that body moving. I feel it really helps my metabolism and helps me to digest food and eat more food. Side note, I've got trousers on. Nobody was asking that, but onwards. What else do we talk about? Exercise. So aside from my job, I do get a lot of exercise with my job, but I also like to train on top of that. I think that's required. My job isn't actually enough to, I think, stay in good shape and put muscle on. It's just a good active job, same as a lot of manual labour jobs. So exercise-wise, I try to train in the gym probably about 3 times a week. Nothing crazy, just some heavy weights at least 3 times a week, sometimes more, but I think I probably average 3. When I get busy, it's probably less than that. It's honestly 1 or 2. But again, I think with staying very active day to day, week by week, I can maintain a good level of health and fitness. But when I'm trying, I will do at least 3 weight sessions in the gym. These are usually just full body heavy weight sessions. So just a good amount of volume, probably an average of about an hour in the gym. An hour, 3 times a week. So not that much really, but it's got to be somewhat intense. I try to lift some heavy weight, get a decent amount of volume in, and just challenge my body in some sort of way in the weight room. Aside from that, I also like to run. I'm increasing the amount of running I'm doing at the minute because I'm training for a Hyrox competition, and I've also got goals to compete in marathons and things in the future. So I'm going to increase that a little bit, but I've always been into running, but I've never done a crazy amount. I've gone months without running, and recently I've been running probably once a week, 1 longer run a week, maybe a short run in the week as well. The only other type of running I sometimes do is some sprints. I think sprints are really healthy for a bunch of scientific reasons that I don't understand, but they're good. Do some sprints, you'll feel good, I promise. It's good for your joints, good for your muscles. It turns on that metabolism, I think, and it's less stress inducing in the body, less cortisol. Look at that, we're getting scientific terms. What do I need to move on to? Diet's going to be a huge one. My diet is not perfect, so I'm not going to run you through a meal plan day by day, week by week, because I don't have one. That's not how I live my life. If you've watched a couple of my videos before, you might know that I'm a big fan of ketogenic diets, so low carb diets, low carbohydrate. Specifically, my go-to is a carnivore diet, which is an exclusively meat-based diet, or meat, animal products basically. So you've got dairy in there, you've got eggs in there, fish as well, obviously. I'm not going to run through what a carnivore diet is, but that's the premise. It's a low carbohydrate ketogenic diet. And what I'll do, not strategically, is I'll cycle in and out of that kind of diet. So I'm not strict. The longest I've done strict like that is probably only a couple of weeks or something like that. But I think over the last couple of years, this approach to diet has given my body a lot more flexibility. It means that when I'm eating very low carb, I can tap into fat stores and burn fat as an energy source. And I think that's really important. I'd really encourage anybody to do that. I think the body runs really efficiently when you're doing that. Again, do I do that all the time? No. I also throw in carbohydrates into the diet, and I'm just not strict with it. I'll go out with my friends, eat what I want. But I think having the ability to tap into your fat source and be a fat burning person, at least for a short while, is really important. People sometimes achieve that by using fasts as well, so intermittent fasting or more prolonged fasting. I haven't really experimented much with that. I've done the odd fast, I've done the odd long fast. i.e. more than 2 days, and sometimes I forget to eat breakfast. That's really rare. I usually remember. But you know, sometimes if you go that long without eating, you're naturally fasting, and you're probably gonna push your body towards making ketones and being in a ketogenic state, being in ketosis. So that's what I do for diet. What other lifestyle factors are there? Things like drinking and smoking, bad habits. You could call them bad. I don't smoke. I drink every now and again, but not that much. I try and avoid, you know, big binge activities like eating or drinking. But there's still some alcohol in my diet. You know, just like 3 drinks every day. No, I'm joking. Like a couple of drinks a week, maybe a few more, I don't know. So another big thing for me is getting outdoors, as I currently am, and getting sunlight. I feel so much better when I get in the sunlight. It's vitamin D too, but I think it turns on a number of processes in the body. I think it's a very natural thing. We've been lied to about the sun, you know, slathering with sun cream and stopping burning. Yes, you don't want to burn. Burning's never going to be a good thing, but getting actual sunlight on your skin is very good for you. Side note, your diet and the inputs that you put into your body will change how your body responds to sunlight, okay? So you will tan, that's what I found. I just realized the other day, we're into mid-August here, and the weather's really nice. I haven't worn a drop of sun cream this year. That's the first year I've ever done that. Mostly just because I didn't want to, because I don't really like this stuff, but my body is tanning better. So my skin's tanning. And I think what the foods you put into your body, namely good quality fats, so good quality saturated fats, animal fats are great. That makes a huge difference to how your skin and how your body responds to the sunlight. So that's a side note. What else? I think this is a bit abstract, but being outdoors and being around nature, which is very easy for me in my job, I'm very lucky, I think is important. It's important for your mental health and your physical health. So there's that, and then supplements might be the last thing. Notice I didn't really talk about supplements much. It's because I don't really take many. I completely sporadically take some supplements, including magnesium, creatine, vitamin D, zinc. As you can tell, I don't have a program for that. I just kind of remember that I've got some supplements and I take some. That has reminded me though, something I do is electrolytes. So I put electrolytes in my water, and I do that quite frequently. Again, not religiously, but I'd say several times a week. I'm consuming electrolytes in the powdered form. So that's got salt, got sodium, magnesium, potassium, and I think some other things, I don't know. I just throw it in, hope for the best, and that's my approach. So that's going to wrap up the video, I think. Those are the things I do. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything out. Some little secret, I do. I've got no secret. I've just explained my secrets, I think. Yeah, and like I said, I'm sort of ramping my training up. I like to participate in more athletic events. So follow along for the journey if you want to see how that goes. But otherwise, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.